So welcome to Graphical. Um, let's talk about how to change a color of a picture or a photo in Photoshop. There are actually a lot of ways of doing this. Let me show you the end result that we're gonna get. Something like this. I change the color of the car in green. So how can we do this? This should be easy. There are two ways on doing this. Depends a little bit on, or maybe there are more ways. Depends a little bit on how you. Depends a little bit on the picture actually. So one way of doing is you do using adjustment layers. A nice thing with the adjustment layers is you can select where the adjustment is going to apply to. So if we have our car here, let me go to the quick selection tool, and basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to select this car here, make sure that I have everything from this car in its eternity. So what I'm doing is now I'm selecting the car, make sure that I have only the car in my view. So what you probably do not want is the road here, so press the Alt key and let's remove those ones from the list. So let's add this part, remove a little bit of this. We want that part definitely to be done. I'm going to get that a little bit away and probably this away. So I think this is kind of nice. I got everything from the car here. So basically I have my car. So what I'm going to do while I have the car selected, let me select this one too, just to make sure that I pick everything from the car as much as possible. In a sense, something like this. So what we can do right now, we can add an adjustment layer. And let's do a hue and saturation, which gives a nice kind of, you can see I have a hue and saturation here. And basically what I can do right now is I can change the color of the car in any way that I see fit. So let's go with the red color or make it bluish. But I like my personal green, but this is also a nice color, or more devil yellow, but we can put it a more, I think let's make this a red Ferrari, because that's what the color of a Ferrari should be, right? So as you see, the more I play with these dials, play around, gains a little bit orangish, reddish. So let's see what the darkness does. You see the darkness is not something you want to play a lot with, because you change the lightness of the car related to the rest of the image. So, but you can play with the saturation, for example, make it more red. See, get a nice dark red. You get there. So this is kind of cool. I kind of like this. What you can do is once you have problems with the selection is that, as you can see, some parts is not really selected. So what I can do is I can use the brush and minimize the brush, and you see I can remove the brush because I'm painting on black. So I revert to white, and white has been shown, so I can say, okay, let me get that color and let's put a little bit more opacity on that. The question is, do you want this to keep yellow? I would say keep it yellow because the Ferrari logo is probably yellow. So what you need to do is make sure you fine-tune everything that is a little bit of, see here we have a little bit of this yellow still going on here. So let me get that a little bit, sure that we get all. Nice thing is also colored the car. And what we probably would want is have this logo in yellow, keep this in yellow because this is the Ferrari logo. So I think we're quite done here. So well, that's one way of doing it. Nice. One thing you see here is that this color does not really match this color here. So this is probably going to be a little bit of a different. So what I would do is get the selection tool. Sorry. Select this and let's say we add another adjustment hue saturation for that part. And what we can do right now is turn this on and play with this adjustment to see to fit it, get it more to the red like this, and give it a more darker color. Play around with it so it fits the red nicely. So this is one way of doing a coloring, which is cool. There is another way of doing it, of course. And this works very well if you have a nice contrast picture with a lot of black and whites. Is to you see that I would already use it here a little bit, is by using a color layer. So how can we do that? So let me go on top and add a new layer, and what I'm going to do is I am going to fill that with a nice color like red, nice Ferrari red, something like this. So let me fill this, and what this will do is it fills the whole image, and what we're going to do is apply a hue to it. You see that the car gets a color, not really what I imagined. So what we could do is we could adjust that and say, okay, I'm gonna make it more red, or what we could do is we could take a different kind of red here, make the red a little bit darker and fill it with this. It's not quite what I want, of course. Get a little bit more of a reddish color. You see, I get this irritating red here. So as you can see, this is still not like really red like this one. So what we could do is, but it really depends on what color you want to get. If you want to get this kind of red, this method doesn't work so fine. But suppose that we were going to get a nice color in the sense of a greenish color, or like this color, see, and it works quite well. So it depends, or a nice blue color, see how it works, or a green color, looks really good, the green color. But if you go, of course, for the red, that's gonna take you a little bit more time. So what we're going to do is, to be honest, I'm going to create a mask, and you have to do that anyhow, because you see the whole picture becomes a little bit of reddish, and if you change the color to greenish, you see that the picture is getting a little bit of greenish everywhere. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a quick mask, and I'm going to select this picture and get this mask quite fast, like this, like this, like this, like this, like this. What I'm going to do is create a quick mask for painting, and that's actually going to be quite easy. I put this way out. So I'm going to this layer, I'm going to create a mask, and that's what you have right now. You see that my picture is already happened the other way around. The mask has been applied the other way around. So that's not what I want. I go back, I select inverse, and then I create this mask. And you see that it already did everything as I wanted. So well, and you see that I have some black spots here, so I'm gonna brush that very quickly out with a big brush, because you want these to be the original colors. See this, keep this the original colors, like this, like that, something like that. And also what I want is these tires, don't want that to be reddish, so I get that out. I get that out, and the same applies to here. And we have a little bit too much reddish here, so let's get that going out. Like this. So these are the original colors. And you see I have some spots here left, so let me clean that one up too. See, I have some spots here that I do not want to be in red. I do not want this best part to be red. Oh well, actually I want it to be red. Actually, let's keep that red, because it gives the red glow there. What we could do is make it a little bit of less red. See, this is already too much. So let's fill this in again with 100%. Let me make sure that we have everything already included in here. So what you could do is give this a little bit of an original color by giving a very soft brush here. Open it up. Give it a little bit of less red effect. on this part. See, it's getting there. You see this color? See, this is a little bit greenish, and now we made it a little bit of more red. We can do that a little bit more, I think, to get rid of the red. You don't want this all to be red like this. So it's a little bit of playing with the mask here. So what we got is we got this nice color. You see this eye? Nice thing of this technique is that you see it's the yellow glow here. Becomes a little bit of a red glow, which is good. And what we're going to do is make sure we have the same function there. So I'm gonna give my brush a little bit more opacity and give it this red look there and get more of this. You see that I get this red look now instead of that yellow look. So what we have right now is we have something like, okay, the hue is there. So let's do a color. See this the car becomes more red. And then what I can do right now is you see that I have some places in my brush that I need to clean up just to make sure I do not mess up the picture. Those are my red. Let's do like that. Gives you an idea how things have been set up. So like this. Too much. Mask is too much there. Let's put a little bit of mask here. Get rid of this. Swap. Like this. Okay, I think it's looking good. Like that. These lines, clean this up a little bit. So what you do is you clean it up a little bit. Make sure that your mask looks good. Looks good. Sorry, I see that I have still something on the wheels. I want to be black. I want this place to be black because there's no coloring in there. The same goes a little bit here. Let's make sure that we have this part gone. Here we have, you see, the reddish glow still coming from this part. So I think I've cleaned it quite a bit. So if you make a mistake, just change your brush in it like that. You get this nice red part, and what I'm going to do is make this a little bit of less attractive here. Get a nice overflow, nice flow, and I want this part not to be strong as that part, of course, because the glow is mostly on this part of the image. So I'm going to get rid of this part a little bit, give it a less glow. This is basically how you want to get rid of this. This glow should be there. And let me clean this up. I'm not using my pen right now, so I have to use a little bit of more mouse. I don't have the pressure sensitivity right now, so I think this is going the good way. The thing is, maybe I can get this more the black, because this is going to be black. This needs to be black, I think. Gives a nice contrast to the car. So I think this looks good. See that this part is still not so red. So why did I remove the red there somewhere? Probably made a mistake. So that's not what we wanted. And what we also do not want is this Ferrari logo. That needs to stay. That needs to stay yellow because that's the Ferrari color. Ferrari logo. So let's make sure that one looks good. Looks good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to duplicate this layer. So what you get, I get two ones and I put this one back on here. See that this is getting a little bit more better. So what I'm going to do is on this one I'm going to remove the red here also. Brush, I'm going to remove. I should have been on the mask. I was not on the mask. My apologies for that. I'm going to remove this one because that doesn't look good. That doesn't look good. That's not what we want. It's not what we want. So what we want is this part. Let's remove this one. So you see, I got the car in a nice color. I'll put the hue back on. Change the type and color to overlay. See, I get the same method. It becomes more red, so I have to find a natural balance in this one. I think this is a nice color, red, as a Ferrari should be. See, and the thing is, it's a little bit red there. That's good. That's good. So that's one way of changing the colors of the car. And you can see that here I still have some too much red here, so let's get rid of this red here and change it here, so make it more this white stuff. And I don't know what this color this should be, but I think it should be a little bit more whitish, something like that. See, see, look at the danger of coloring is you forget the details. Look at the original. These are not yellow. So when we go back to this, we have to make sure that these things keep white as much as possible. Keep this white as possible, and probably these. So when I turn it on and off, these are white in the original picture, and I have to make sure that they keep white. It's all the details that matter in this whole process. See, these ones do not have a very reddish color, so I have to make sure that I get it out of here too. So let me select this one and make it less red here, because it's not red. It's the original is not red. So I'm going to remove this one from here to make sure it's not red like it should be. These parts. The seat belts, I think we can keep it red because that's also how it looks like on the. So as I said, the devil is in all these details. You have to make sure that the details are right. The more details you get right, the better the car will look. So what we can do is make a new group, and I'm gonna put that in that group and put that in that group, so I can turn it off in one click. See, this is one way of doing it. Make another group in here. Let me put these two. Put this one and this one. These two in this temporary group that I have. Turn it off. So that is the original. This is using the hue and saturation layer, which also kind of works. Cool. But what also works is this one. It's more strong. I don't know if again it's there's a lot of ways of doing it. I think this looks very natural. It depends on what kind of effect you want to give, because if you want a strong Ferrari color, maybe this is much stronger, and then if it's too strong, you can play around with the opacities. You see, you get them more. Yeah. You have to play around with the coloring a little bit. What you can do is play around a little bit with the saturations. You see, more saturation you get. You give it a little darker saturation. Make it a little darker. See, and you get similar, the same effect as this one. This one. See, this is the difference if you with this technique and this technique. I prefer this technique. This looks really good, and if you look very closely, it's really professionally done. There's no easy way of seeing it. As I said before, you have to make sure that your details are right, and that you do things correctly. And I think, for example, what you can see here is this part doesn't look very nice, so let's see, probably have to clean it up a little bit of there. Make sure that we get this thing going on here with our layer. That's important to make sure that these parts look good. You don't want artifacts like this. So what you're gonna do is you want to brush this nice way and clean it up in a good way. It's all about the masking that is important. So what we do is make sure that we mask everything here correctly, and I think you see that this one is also not very nicely cleaned up by me, so let's clean that up also. See that the more I clean it up, the better it's going to look like on the picture. Things like here, see, this is not very nicely done. I did it very quickly. So if I get rid of this one, see that color is going to look much better. It's question is, does that fit? Yeah, that fits, because that's the reflection there. So I think it's looking really nice right now. Let's get rid of these white ones here. I don't want that to be red. So you have to play around with it, make sure. And the important thing is when you are satisfied. That's the important thing. That's how you want to make sure that you're satisfied. So that is the important thing here. Making sure that you are satisfied with your results. See? I get this nice glow here from this red, so it looks really good. So this is a way of changing the color of a picture. I hope you liked it. It has been so if you have any suggestions or any ideas for a new tutorial, just let me know in the comments. Thank you very much, guys.